Last time things went terrible for him. Today things went awful and honestly kind of embarrassing. If he just pleaded guilty to that, things would be over pretty quickly. He would get his sentence and he would at least know what his fate is. Expecting a 5 to 8 year sentence for him from all this.
What's the law on that? You said you read up on the law. What's the law, bro?
No propaganda.
What's the definition of propaganda?
He admits distribution, denies production. Well, guess what? The statute doesn't require production. It only requires distribution. So he literally just confessed to the crime.
Guys, we've got a massive update on Johnny Somali. Things are getting really bad for him. Johnny Somali refused to plead guilty in his deepfake crimes, and now it's seriously ruining his life. The court isn't even waiting for him to change his plea.
If he just pleaded guilty to that, things would be over pretty quickly. He would get his sentence.
Because the evidence against him is rock solid. There's no need to consider his intentions.
Cannot explain any specific evidence of Johnny's innocence for deepfakes.
Right now, Brother Court will almost certainly move forward with sentencing. Everything is stacked against him, and it's looking like his life is about to take a huge hit. So what could happen next for Johnny Somali? Let's break it down in this video.
So first, here's the latest leaked info about Johnny Somali's case. Bong Bong and Young Man were not present at Johnny Somali's third trial. Why? Young Man is currently in prison because he threw a stone at the courthouse during Johnny Somali's trial. More on that later. But he's still a key witness. Here's the main point. Sources say Johnny Somali is trying to intimidate the victims. Even his own lawyer couldn't block witnesses like Bong Bong and Young Man from attending the next court hearing. If Johnny Somali actually tries to intimidate a victim, he could face serious consequences. Right now, you can see him and his mindless minions trying to pressure Bong Bong to stop her from testifying, all because she filed a lawsuit against him for the deep fake crimes. In South Korea, threatening or intimidating someone can lead to a fine of up to 5 million won and prison time up to 3 years. So Johnny Somali is literally making another huge mistake in his life even before pleading guilty. Court is not showing any leniency anymore because he's actively creating problems. According to Atozy, Johnny Somali is now very close to sentencing and could face over 5 years in prison. Things are getting worse for him by the day.
And it's safe to say, last time things went terrible for him. Today things went awful and honestly kind of embarrassing because a lot of the stuff they did not make sense whatsoever. Clearly, he was way more locked in. He realized how much he screwed up now it seems like, and he's realizing, uh-oh, I might be stuck in prison for a long time. Currently, he's facing 8 counts, or 8 charges, and 4 of which are obstruction of businesses, 2 of which are misdemeanors. He pled guilty to all 6 of those charges. Then you have the 2 big charges, which are the deepfakes charges. And the deepfake charges are for distributing the deepfakes. Unfortunately for him, he decided to plead not guilty to the distribution of deepfakes because, in quote, he distributed them, but he did not make them. So that's why he's pleading not guilty.
So what can Johnny Somali even do now? We all know he's the king of drama, always trying to create chaos to buy himself more time. Remember, he once claimed that someone sent him the deepfake videos and that he didn't know about them.
Which I never created any deepfake. Somebody posted a deepfake in my Discord and I showed it to my stream with my phone like that.
But what did he actually do? He went on live camera, acting like it was South Korea that was jealous of him.
But look, you see? Y'all jealous, y'all getting like this. Look at me, y'all really wish y'all had it like this.
The evidence against him is now completely exposed to the world. Every single detail is out there. The problem is, after all this, Johnny Somali cannot survive this situation. He's running out of options, and the court isn't going to let him wiggle out this time.
The problem for him when doing that is that means they actually have to bring the victims of the deepfakes into the court for questioning. And that extends the whole trial process by easily 2 to 3 months. So if he just pleaded guilty to that, things would be over pretty quickly. He would get his sentence and he would at least know what his fate is. But now they're deciding to extend the process for no real upside. And by him not pleading guilty, that just makes the sentence even harsher on him. So currently, the legal analysts I've been talking to, they're expecting a 5 to 8 year sentence for him from all this.
This is huge news. Johnny Somali could face over 5 years in prison, and it's looking more and more certain. Here's why. Johnny Somali finally pleaded guilty to distributing deepfake videos. But even then, he tried to twist the story, claiming in court that he didn't actually create the videos and that the prosecution somehow trapped him. The problem is, the strategy didn't work. The court saw through it, and now Johnny Somali is basically ruining his own life with this plea. You can hear from Legal Mindset how his actions in the deepfake case have led him straight into serious trouble.
He appears to be trying to fight on things that are not there. He also, once again, Johnny's lawyer said, cannot explain any specific evidence of Johnny's innocence for deepfakes. This is something that's unheard of. This is crazy. That's insane. They have to argue the deepfakes. So they're arguing the deepfakes. Bong Bong isn't coming in. So Bong Bong, that's actually good news because it doesn't matter how Bong Bong does as a witness or not. They already have the evidence. So for the deepfakes, they don't even need Bong Bong as a witness. Crazy.
I completely agree with legal mindset. Everything is crystal clear. The evidence shows that Johnny Somali himself played the clip, and his intentions are obvious. There's really no way to twist this. The prosecution made it very clear, and honestly, it's terrible news for Johnny Somali. Everything is stacked against him, and the court isn't buying any of his excuses. His situation just keeps getting worse.
Johnny's lawyer says Ramsey cannot make the deepfakes because Ramsey does not know how to make deepfakes. So since he didn't make it, and the prosecutor interrupted him and said, so you deny making it, but you admit distributing the deepfakes. The lawyer responded, Ramsey's lawyer responded, well, he was drunk, he admits distribution, denies production. Well, guess what? The statute doesn't require production, it only requires distribution. So he literally just confessed to the crime.
That's massive news. Johnny Somali was actually trying to fool the judge and the prosecutors by saying that he didn't know how to make deepfake video. Then, when the prosecution said, you distributed the video, Johnny Somali actually got trapped. Now, it doesn't really matter whether Johnny Somali pleads guilty or not. If he pleads guilty, there might be some consideration from the judge, but if he doesn't, the judge will likely go straight to sentencing. As you know, the next trial is October 29, which means Johnny Somali could be sentenced in November if nothing else happens. Right now, some clips of Johnny Somali are surfacing online. Why? Because, as you know, Johnny Somali did not deny his new charge. He pleaded guilty in the obstruction of business 4th case. The prosecution is concerned that Johnny Somali actually provoked North Korean propaganda, which is something people are paying attention to. So, people are now making these clips go viral, which could make his punishment even stronger. Another clip of that has also surfaced.
Behave yourself, Johnny. I'll try my best. You guys know I always try to be reformed and say, guys, I'm gonna become a better streamer and be nice. And then as soon as I start drinking, everything goes to shit. Everything goes to shit, man.
What's the law on that? You said you read up on the law. What's the law on that North Korea shit?
All right, so no propaganda, bro.
No propaganda.
What is don't carry around no, what do you call them? No
What's the definition of propaganda?
What? What's the definition of propaganda Johnny Somali is talking about? Like you all know, he's the kind of person who actually does the crime and then asks, what is the crime? This is honestly one of the most shady men out there, and I think he's also mentally abusive. That's why his mind can't even recognize what is a crime and what is not.
Like, you know, papers promoting Kim Jong-un, like t-shirts promoting Kim Jong-un, none of that shit, bro.
I ain't got no t-shirt.
I know, but don't be talking about him and saying he's a real god and whatnot.
So now, when this kind of clip is resurfacing, it could make the situation even worse for Johnny Somali, especially since he's seen as a provoker of North Korea. So guys, let me sum it all up. Right now, Johnny Somali has not fully pleaded guilty in the deepfake crimes, but the evidence against him is strong. Another thing is that there's another deepfake involving the Korean streamer Young Man that is still not fully addressed yet. We also know that Johnny Somali is basically ruining his own life by refusing to plead guilty, and that's why the judge is no longer showing any kind of fairness or favor toward him. So guys, what do you think about all of this? What's your opinion? Let me know.